So I know what you're probably not thinking, where I've been. Well, as you can see, I'm clearly in a new environment. No, this is not green screen. This is not this is not where I was before. This is a new environment. Remember what I said like a video or two ago where I said like I had some movement going on, like some things playing and some motions coming in action. Well, this is like part of the motion that was coming into action. New environment, new setting, new crib, new everything. But that's where I've been for the past what 2-3 months now. But everything's just been crazy. But now the setup is here and I'm locked and loaded and I'm ready to just hop back into it. So just don't worry about it. I've been cool, I've been good in a new environment. And today I just want to talk about some Invincible season 3 because I think we can all agree that that shit was crazy. Now I'm not gonna give like a full in-depth spoiler of the entire 8 episode season. I'm just gonna talk about like kind of the high points and stuff that I like. And to start off, with the beginning of the season with the Cecil stuff, with Cecil, to start off with the dynamic between Cecil and Mark, excuse the fuck out of me. There was a lot of discussion going on back when I was like fresh and when the season first dropped about with the way Cecil was moving, the way Cecil's decisions. If you've seen the show, you know, like I believe in the second episode, yeah, it's the second episode, all the superheroes, like I think they said in the world or in the United States or whatever, like every single one of the superheroes got captured and stolen underground by Dr. Seismic, who everybody has been taking as a fucking joke this entire time. But I guess season 3 rolled around and he's been locked up this whole time. He on Black Air Force activity now. He kidnaps literally every single superhero in the world except for Mark and Eve, and they got to go down there and rescue everybody. But of course, even after training and they training with Cecil, and Mark said he got like 130, like what was it, like 134% stronger. He's still getting his ass whooped, still taking L's, still catching L's. Has to get saved by Darkwing 2.0, who comes in clutch. But yeah, they all get captured by Dr. Seismic, who is a real nigga this season. Like he's really about it. Like well, I was about to say like he's even putting like the Immortal to shame, but it's like, dog, can we even like talk about the Immortal anymore? This is actually a good question. Has Immortal won a fight? Like that has the Immortal won a single fight? I don't think he's won a fight. Damn that nigga. But anyway, they got all the heroes down there captured. Mark's taking L's and they get saved by Darkwing 2.0. And Mark, because of Darkwing's past of killing innocent people back in season 2 when he was wilding the fuck out and shit, Mark felt some type of way that he was working with Cecil, and because Darkwing was talking about, oh, I've changed, I reformed. First of all, I thought like some creepy shit had happened. I thought like this nigga had like his brain altered or something, because like the way it was presented and the way he said it, he was like, okay, like Cecil probably get out at this nigga. He like, you know, like opened this nigga's cranium and it was like digging in this nigga's brain. Pause. But yeah, that shit happens, and then he starts beefing with Cecil, right? And fucking Cecil, he starts feeling so scared from this nigga Mark, very understandably, because this nigga could just wreck the whole planet, no hesitation, right now. So of course he's gonna be pressed as fuck by this nigga. So he starts calling the Reaniman, and they start squabbling with Mark. But Mark, actually, I thought Mark was, I was like, okay, they finna get all these Reaniman, they finna beat Mark's ass, they finna, you know, lock him up, cool down, cool off or whatever. But no, Mark, he was blowing him back. Pause. But he was squabbling. He was actually not losing for once. But then he flies to where the Guardians of the Globes are, but then he has this little like chip in his brain and shit that's like activating this like sound disturbance that's like fucking up his inner balance and is preventing him from like flying and shit, and it fucks him up and shit. So that's going on, and after that happens, he eventually kills all the Reanimen in front of the Guardians of the Globe, and they break up like a fucking boy band and shit like that, and you know, he gets that shit taken out of his head. So it's so far the season starts off pretty crazy with Cecil, and all I gotta say is Literally the only thing Cecil did wrong in this moment that I think he did wrong was activating the little brain shit in his head. That is the only thing I think Cecil did wrong. I think he should have saved that shit until it's like, okay, Mark's evil. He's about to take over the planet. Like, niggas about to get fucked up. Like, we need to stop Mark now. That's when I think it should have been used. I don't think it should have been used now. I do think Cecil used it a little bit too early. But besides that, bro, Cecil didn't do a goddamn thing wrong. He didn't do a fucking thing wrong. Well, we're gonna get to it later. But so far, that's the only thing Cecil has fucked up with. Skipping forward a little bit, we go to Omni-Man and Alan, who are locked up in like this space prison, like in the middle of space. They're locked up in this prison cells, which is pretty interesting. I thought from season 2 that Omni-Man like would be locked up in like a Viltrumite type prison, because it's like he's a Viltrumite, so why would you lock him up in like I know, like, I guess not really normal, but like a normal like space colony station or whatever, because they can just like break out. But I guess no, like he's just locked up in there, and we find out later that he's choosing to stay in there because he wants to, you know, he feels guilty and he feels sad for all the fucking millions of gazillions of lives he's taken in his lifespan, and is just now feeling bad about the people he's fucking killed, all because of Mark talking about, I'll still have you, Dad, while having this fucking lip busted wide the fuck open. Crazy, right? But eventually, it's Omni-Man's time to be executed. It's finally time for him to, you know, be killed. And these two random Viltrumites, I don't even think we get like a name drop from either one of them. These two random Viltrumites, they come and they get ready to, you know, go on to clap Nolan, right? Alan, who has been like having mental conversations with Nolan the whole time, like telepathy type conversation with him, because Alan's built like that, because he's trying to convince him to like join their side and like join their cause and fight the Viltrumites you know, save the galaxy from their murderers, from his murderous fucking brothers and sisters and shit like that. Not his literal brothers and sisters, but like his fucking crazy ass race of, you know, Supermen going around the universe slaughtering people and shit like that. So after that, Alan starts just like, fuck, I gotta save this nigga, because I still, you know, if we get Nolan on our side, you know, he's one of the strongest Viltrumites, so that's gonna help the fuck out of us, right? So Alan busts out of there and he goes on his way to save Omni-Man, but on his way to go Omni-Man, he randomly runs into fucking Battle Beast, who I know a little bit more about Battle Beast because I've been like seeing like spoilers all over the fucking internet, because people just don't know how to keep fucking spoilers to themselves anymore. Like they just gotta post it as soon, like, goddamn. Anyway, I've been seeing like a couple of spoilers about Battle Beast, and it's like he's like OD as fuck and like overpowered as fuck, and it's just this big ass lion cat nigga who's just looking for the ultimate battle and the ultimate death and shit like that. Like, this nigga's crazy. Like, this nigga would absolutely fucking love Saiyans. He would, like, if Battle Beast met Saiyans, he would fall in fucking love. He wouldn't know what to do with himself. But anyway, he runs into Battle Beast, who, of course, you know, he's on Battle Beast type shit. You know, where's the challenge? Where's the fight? You know, I'm looking to fuck niggas up type shit. And then Alan was like, hey, we, you know, there's two Viltrumites down here, let's go, you know, let's fuck them up. He's like, I bet. So eventually they tear into a bunch of guards. They did, first of all, they always do this in media. If there's like a prison break going on and I'm like a guard, and I go to where the actor's popping off, and I see all of my fellow co-workers, all of my fellow guards shooting at this one nigga, and the bullets are doing nothing, like they're just bouncing off him, they're just peppering his fucking skin and doing nothing, I'm getting the fuck out of there. Whatever the fuck we're guarding is not that fucking important, nigga. Y'all can stay guard, put your soul on the line, whatever. I'm getting the fuck out. Matter of fact, here you go, nigga, here's the key. I'm helping. Matter of fact, fuck that, I'm switching teams. I'm helping these niggas, bro. You gonna be fucked up. Whatever we is guarding is not that fucking important. I don't give a fuck about this job, my nigga. Anyway, uh they eventually get to know where Nolan's being held at, and they find the Viltrumites and they start battling shit. Battle Beast, he gets a Viltrumite all to himself because he don't want no fucking help. Like nah, nigga, don't help me. He's Vegeta in this shit. Like don't help me Kakarot, I got this shit, right? So he starts squabbling with the Viltrumite by himself, going toe to toe and shit. And then Alan and Nolan are fighting the other Viltrumite, which honestly should say something about this other Viltrumite, because we know Omni-Man is supposedly one of the stronger Viltrumites out of the 50 they have left, which Alan finds that out later. There's like literally only 50 Viltrumites left and shit like that. But for this Viltrumite to be taking on Nolan and Alan, who we know is like up there with Viltrumites now because of the little squabble he had with Vanessa, talking about like, damn, that she hit me, but that shit barely even hurt, right? And he was making her bleeding type shit like that. So we know Alan is up there with Viltrumites, and for this random ass Viltrumite to be squabbling with both of them, holding his own against both of them, that's got to say something about this random ass Viltrumite, who again they never even name dropped. But after a little fight, after like a quick little 5-minute fight scene, it ended up like doing the craziest shit, flying at this nigga from both ends, and like ended up giving each other a fist bump, but with this nigga's skull. They fist bump with this nigga's skull, make his eyes pop out and shit. The shit was insane. They get some crazy shit in this. Well, if you've seen the show, you already know how gory shit get. The shit is no different any other episode. Shit, blood, guts everywhere. You already know the business. But that shit happens, and then Battle Beast, he's just floating out in fucking space, fighting the Viltrumites. Like look like he's trying to like just say fuck it and get away and like fly away, but Battle Beast is using his claws, digging into his fucking skin. Like nah, you're not leaving. Like we're fighting to the death. You're not leaving. And eventually, like at the end of the season, we find out he just fucking tore this Viltrumite apart. Like he tore this Viltrumite to shreds. There was nothing left of this Viltrumite. He was just torn apart. And then he just went to sleep in space because, oh shit, I can't fly. So now I gotta wait till however fucking long in the middle of space until a random ass spaceship comes and pick me up, and I beg for more, which is exactly what he did. That's crazy ass Battle Beast. I fuck with Battle Beast low key. Like I want Mark to get his run back. I don't know. Matter of fact, no, I do know. Like even if Mark wants to get his run back right now, I don't think it's gonna go in Mark's favor at all. I do think Battle Beast would still at this point squash Mark, even with Mark's fight with Conquest. I don't think he still holds a candle to Battle Beast. I still think Battle Beast would whoop that ass. By the way, I know there were like some early complaints going on, especially earlier in the season, with like people were saying like the animation was like trash, or like the animation wasn't as good, or anything like that. I feel like people just kind of say things just to say things, because, well, honestly, me personally, I didn't notice anything. I didn't think the animation was like abominable or like any drop in quality. I thought it looked fine. Like obviously in the season finale, in the fight with Conquest, you can definitely tell that there's like a bump in the budget or whatever, but like for the most part, like I think the show looks fine. I don't think it was anything to like get upset about or like whine about that, but that's just me though. That's just what I feel. In the second to the last episode of the season finale, we end up finding out like that Angstrom Levy is still alive, and that he somehow survived, end up getting his brains bashed in by Mark at the end of the season 2 finale. Like he said, I thought you'd be stronger, and somehow he's alive. Don't know how. He's super nigga. His brain is literally mush. It's literally completely mush on the ground, but he's still alive, still functioning. And as he's on the ground, he opens a portal to like these little like future alien technological engineers. They're called engineers or whatever. It's a pretty cool name, to be honest, but they're called engineers, and like they look kind of weird. But like they apparently ended up fixing him, getting him like a new brain. They have to have gotten him like a new brain because again, his brain is literally like just mashed potatoes in the dirt. Like you need a new brain, my nigga. There's no way. But anyway, we ended up finding out that he's alive, and of course he's trying to get his lick back for what happened. And he ends up recruiting a bunch of different marks from the multiverse. But of course, as we know from last season, all the other marks from the multiverse are like evil, tyrannical pieces of shit who like listened to Omni-Man and was like, you want to take over the planet? Bet. Well, except for like, there's this one Omni-Man, there's this one called Omni, what was it called? Like Omni Mark or something like that. Apparently that one killed his father, which is like, is it saying in that multiverse that Nolan is weaker or like not as or like because no, again, Nolan is one of the strongest Viltrumites up there. Like I know there's other Viltrumites who's above him, but Nolan is one of the stronger Viltrumites. So in order for a mark from a different universe to have killed him, that either has to mean either this mark was obscenely powerful or that Nolan was significantly weaker than the Nolan we have in the universe that we know Good Mark from. Like that Nolan has to be, the Nolan from Good Mark universe has to be way stronger than the Mark from the one he got killed in, right? Like there's no way, because I mean he's ended up being one of the marks who survived, because there was 18 different evil marks during the Invincible War. It didn't say it went on for like 3 days. Like they was literally just fucking up the planet for 3 straight days. It was crazy. The whole squad was getting wiped, both sides. But yeah, he ended up, the Omni Mark ended up being one of the ones who survived. But it's still like he didn't show like anything that would indicate him being like just fucking tiers above Omni-Man or anything like that, because he ended up getting into a fight with our Mark, Good Mark, with Adam Eve, and yeah, he was getting jumped with Adam because Adam Eve's not as strong as the Viltrumite, but he was still like somewhat holding his own against both of them, against Omni Mark and a face mask Mark or whatever. He was holding his own against both of them. So again, I'm gonna go with the theory that the Mark who killed his dad was just a significantly weaker Omni-Man, because there's just no way for that to have been the case if it's the Nolan that we know is supposed to be as strong as he is. Like it's just no way. After the 3 days of the marks from the different multiverses fucking the earth up, there was about 18 of them, and I think only about like 6 of them ended up surviving. I'm pretty sure it was 6 of them that only ended up. And they ended up having a meeting over the main Mark's house because they was looking to kill his mom. They was looking at, like, there was one who said like, damn, I was looking to like get that hoe again. Like they crazy as fuck, bro. So except for one, there was one who was looking to like be reunited with his mom, and he looked like Spider-Man Mark with his face mask and shit like that. But they ended up having a meeting with Angstrom Levy, who of course they ended up turning on them because they were promised if they helped them that they were going to be able to like go to different multiverses and take over the multiverses there, and they were just going to be able to just conquer shit everywhere. So that's why they was working alongside him. But of course they ended up flipping, talk about they're going to torture his ass, and Eggstrom ended up sending the marks to that one universe, that one multiverse where like the earth was like a complete desert wasteland, basically the place where he got his skull bashed in. He sent them back there and trapped them back there, which is not going to kill the marks on that planet because they can't just like fly out in space and like do whatever, but it is like still like 6 marks in one separate universe just all stuck there in this one multiverse. So that's definitely going to be causing problems. I don't think the marks are going to get along from what we've seen. Then a teleporting Mark flies onto the scene, and he is ready to catch a dub. He is tired of L's. He is on the no more L gangs. He is catching no more L's going forward, and he's going to prove it right now. So he starts squabbling with the big fat brain nigga, Dr. Angstrom. I forgot his name for a quick second. He starts squabbling with Angstrom and shit like that. And Angstrom, he's trying to pull the same bullshit that he was pulling in the season 2 finale, where every time Mark was charging at him or he would try to like attack him, he would open the portal and try to send Mark to somewhere else. But not Mark was not falling for that shit, bro. He was ducking and bobbing them hoes, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Mark was out there kind of cooking, bro. He's showing that good main character development. He's showing character development right here, and I love to see that shit. I love to see that shit. And so eventually, Angstrom, he starts throwing like a billions of these fucking like robots at him, these little small little drone robots that must be made out of like fucking elite titanium or some shit like that, because he's throwing them at Mark and like they cutting them and it's hurting him and shit. So they gotta be made out of something powerful for if it's hurting like Viltrumites, right? So he's throwing all these fucking bots at him. He's trying to push him back into this big ass hole and teleport him somewhere. He's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna bring you back, but like after I'm done, like fucking these niggas up, like basically, after I'm done having my way with the Earth, basically." So, but Mark, like I said, not falling for that shit. So he powers through all that shit. He powers up like a Super Saiyan. He Goku's through that shit, and he's running. Angstrom, he's running out of drones. And Mark closes the gap on him, and right before he comes, and Mark, he hesitates, but it's kind of weird because I feel like he was gonna do it irregardless if Oliver like didn't say like, oh, didn't yell out like kill him, like do it now, because that did make Mark hesitate. But I still feel like that was good for Oliver to just be like kill this nigga, like get rid of him, like he needs to go. Like he has shown us two times now why he needs to go. I know you tried the first time, Mark, but this time this nigga needs to go. He needs to disappear. He needs to be Thanos not, and you don't need to feel bad about it, because for some reason he was feeling bad about killing Angstrom, even though like he was trying to kill your mom and your baby brother and you. So I felt like you were justified. There was no reason to feel bad, but that's just Mark's soft ass. But Mark, he squabbles up, no Kendrick, and he was gonna kill Angstrom. But of course, Angstrom pulling that BS, pulls out another Jones, bonks his niggas in the forehead. He loses his grip, but he takes his arm. Before the portal closed, he grabs that arm. Angstrom loses his arm. Now he got a dope ass robot arm from the engineers and shit. And now we have the insane OG of the Viltrumites, Conquest. Yeah, this nigga Conquest is crazy as fuck, bro. Like, for this nigga to just pull up and be like, yeah, they sent me here to just be like, you know, hey, what's going on, Mark? Like, what's the fuck going on here? We told you, get prepared for our kingdom's arrival. You know, we finna come up in here and we finna start running shit. But it seems like these motherfucking humans is not ready for us to start stopping up in here and start running shit. What the fuck going on, man? But for him to be like, my nigga, I want you to fight. I want the smoke. That's crazy. And now after 3 days of the Earth, my nigga, after 3 days of the Earth getting basically fucking tortured by all the Marks running rampant and shit like that, literally the day after all of this shit just happened, we just went through 3 days of bullshit. We get this buff ass, old ass Nappa from Dragon Ball Z looking ass nigga pulls up on our planet and says, I'm here and I'm looking for the smoke. What the fuck? Like this is some bullshit. Like if I was a human in the Invincible universe and like I was being informed of what was going on, I was informed of, you know, the 3 days of bullshit that just happened, and now we got this old ass buff ass nigga that's looking for alien looking nigga that's looking for smoke. Are you fucking are you shitting me, my nigga? This is bullshit. He's pulled it up. He's on some stand ready for my arrival worms type shit. So this nigga, you already knows from before you even see the nigga, all you gotta hear is his voice, and you know this nigga is about the action, and you know Mark has one of the worst ass whippings coming to him, and it definitely was. I don't think surprisingly it was a bad ass whooping. He like Mark got fucked. He got fucked up. But I do think Omni-Man has given him his worst ass whooping. I mean, that he whooped his ass until he was barely alive. He was clinging on by an inch, barely. He was holding the mountaintops, but like this. This how he was holding on to the mountain, like this. This how he's holding on to the mountain of life. But anyway, Mark and Conquest, they start squabbling and shit, and then Conquest, he's on, he's doing the villain shit where he's letting the good guy get hits in, he's letting the good guy toss him around, throwing him around, making the good guy, build confidence, get his ego boost, make him feel good, right? But then Conquest, he does this little heart shit, and I just knew, rest in peace, Mark. Mark gets his ass whooped, he starts getting tossed around like a fucking rag doll. And then Oliver, he's trying to catch up the whole time and starts squabbling with Conquest, which the whole time, Debbie, first of all, Debbie, I understand, you got an alien kid, he's not a normal human child. He will never be a normal human child. He has extraordinary powers. He's absurdly powerful. I understand that. But at the same time, you got to realize that this nigga is of the same species as your husband, who a year ago or two would just beat the absolute fuck out of your other son. And now a nigga of the same race is here fucking up that same son. I don't think it's a good idea to send the child, like the young child, to go help his brother out. Unfortunately, yeah, that sucks. Your other son is getting his ass tore up, but I don't think it's smart to send the other one. That's just what I think. I know she can't physically do anything to hold Oscar back, but I don't think just don't let him grab you and stay safe. No, that's not enough. That's not enough. You don't let him grab you. You can't do that when he's moving like a fucking bullet. He's moving 3 times faster than bullets, bro. You can't do that. After 10 more minutes of Mark getting his ass handed to him, we get to the point where Adam Eve pulls up to the fight and tries to help him out. But of course, Mark starts getting PTSD and starts worrying that his shorty's finna get fucked up now, which of course she is. And of course, she pulls up and she actually starts doing pretty decent. Starts putting in a little bit of work. Of course, it's it's not really gonna do anything or really take care of Conquest, but it did felt nice to see her putting in a little bit of work. But it is very extremely shortly lived. It's very tragically lived, actually, because she gets fucked up, she gets dominated, she gets her face just blown apart by one punch. She gets killed. I thought she was done for. I thought she was done. I was like, damn, no more Adam Eve, I guess. But of course she's not. She's like the fucking Phoenix from X-Men or some shit like that, and she's on the ground. She starts resurrecting and charging the fuck up, but nobody see her because Mark, he starts getting pissed. He starts having his Dragon Ball Z moment, and he's talking about seeing the future and how he's gonna change that shit and how he's not there and shit. And him and Conquest is going at it. He's still getting his ass whooped, but so is Conquest, because Mark is, he's landing blows, he's landing shots, and shit's certain, he's dealing damage, he's fucking him up. But then Adam Eve, she ends up blasting Conquest and blasting this nigga's fucking exterior way. His skin is melted. You can see this nigga's muscle fibers and tendons and inner bones and inner structure and all this shit. He's fucked up, right? I thought he was dead, but fucking Viltrumites and their fucking immortality or whatever the fuck. Of course, this nigga's still kicking his shit, and then Mark, he starts bashing his head in, talking about, oh, you like that shit, you like that shit, you like that shit. I don't think Conquest is liking it at this point, but maybe it is with his insano style ass. He's whispering in little niggas' ears as he's choking him on the ground, talking about some I'm so lonely. I can never be in that position. If I ever getting choked out by an old man on the ground and he whispers in my ear and says I'm so lonely, that's the day my soul leaps out of my body and I never rejoin the lobby. That I will forever disconnect from the lobby immediately, right there. I want no part of what's going to happen right after these next few words. So yeah, Mark ends up winning the fight just barely by the skin of his teeth. Ends up bashing his skull against Conquest and killing his ass, supposedly. Remember earlier when I said that Cecil took no L's earlier and that his only L was activating Mark's brainwave chip far too early? Well, he takes another L, and it's a really massive fucking L. It's an L so massive that it really makes it hard to stand on the Cecil defense and go to bat for him. So Conquest, turns out this nigga's not dead. He survives getting his fucking face split open, bashed the fucking. He survives getting his fucking body melted and his fucking muscle tendons and muscle fibers being exposed, shit like that. He survived all of that shit and he's still alive. He's still kicking. He's just out, and they say he's like healing rapidly, but like still slowly over time. But he will come back to full consciousness. Again, it makes it really hard to defend Cecil for this decision, because you just not only saw him dogging the fuck out of Mark, Adam Eve, and Oliver, who earlier in the season killed the Mauler, both of the Mauler twins, who were pretty powerful, were enough to bitch the Immortal. Which we're not gonna talk about the Immortal anymore. Like, look, if the Immortal does not have some kind of W in season 4 going forward, if he doesn't like have some kind of fight with some kind of enemy and he just walks away without getting killed, knocked out, stunned, saved, anything, he walks away with his own dub, we can stop calling him trash. But until then, that nigga's trash. But yeah, Cecil, he keeps Conquest's body behind this, like, I guess like steel wall or something like that says it's like it's 4 something billion. It's 4 tons. It's 40 tons. It's heavy as fuck, basically said. But it's gonna like trigger to set off a massive explosion if he even moves an inch when he wakes up and shit like that. And it's like, man, Cecil, these motherfuckers can survive. Ain't Adam Eve, ain't that beam supposed to be like as hot as the sun or something like that? That's why it was able to like melt him. I think I saw like a video or something explaining it like that. Because Viltrumites, like, they can die if they fly into the sun, I'm pretty sure. But you saw all this shit he been through and none of it killed him. And you think setting him behind a heavy ass door and laced with explosive is gonna be enough to stop him when he wakes up? Something is telling me that shit's not gonna work. Unfortunately, a pretty massive fucking L for Cecil, and damn near undo. I think it pretty much undone everything he has set out to do in this season and the previous season. I think it literally it undermines all the good he's done for this one fucked up huge mistake. Because I guarantee you, this shit is gonna Conquest at some point in the next season. He's gonna break out. He's gonna and shit is just gonna get crazy again. Motherfuckers is gonna get clapped, and it's gonna be all Cecil's fault. And then Mark is definitely not gonna fuck with him. Yep, I just wanted to get on here and discuss about Invincible season 3 a little bit. I know it's been about a couple of weeks since it came out, but again, like I said, there's been some motion going on. There's been some crazy stuff going on in my personal, but I'm cool. I'm chilling. I'm in the new environment. This is the spot for me now for a little bit. Yeah, more videos coming. Oh, and I almost forgot. I also got my streaming setup going on. I got my streaming account linked up with my OBS. I got that going on. So I'm going to be starting some streams here pretty soon. I'm going to be streaming some games. I'm gonna be just streaming, like just talking, like going over like maybe like wacky stuff, wacky news, or like funny stuff. Just basically just communicating and talking about like media stuff that's going on, like movies, like just anything. Just streaming, talking about anything, and playing games and stuff like that. Yeah, just want to start doing that, and let me know what y'all think about that. If you give a fuck, please give a fuck. But yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. Again, sorry for the wait. But ain't no more long breaks. I'm here to stay. All right, peace out.